It's been a long time since I've had a good yarn with you.
That's true.
I know, we missed you.
Listeners might not know, but when the podcast gets serious, I get the boot.
No.
Yeah, they've just got me here for my
I
looks.
think it was when the calendar got serious.
Oh, my calendar.
Your calendar, and it's like
everyone always blames my calendar.
it's pretty full.
It's very flexible. It's like
full but flexible.
It's like a 22-year-old Pilates instructor. Super flexible. Yeah.
All right, welcome back to the Capability Corner, the podcast where we explore what's happening in healthcare workforce development and all things capability. I'm your host, Head of Clinical Governance at Ausmed. I think I've let everyone know about the new title. If not, there it is. Reporting directly to this lady across from me, Chief Nursing Officer, Dr. Karen Patterson, and the one and only Michelle Wiki, Chief Customer Officer. What a pleasure to be in your calendars and in person.
Yeah,
Where
it's
are
true.
we?
We're in the new building.
New office?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very nice.
Yeah, beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Melbourne
Michelle
at its finest.
ticks.
Gloomy, cloudy, grey.
We're very high.
We're high up.
We're
so as
high
Karen
up.
said,
I mean,
it doesn't matter about the clouds.
No,
because
we're above the clouds, and as you walk around the building, you get a 360-degree view. And I never realised that there were these mountains surrounding Melbourne.
I can tell you one of them.
Dead
It's Mount
ranges.
Macedon.
Oh, right.
And I stand here and I think, I can't believe I used to live there and
Goodness
commute in
gracious.
here every day.
Yes.
Thank God I'm not doing that.
Well, a fun fact. So Hoddle, who designed the streets,
the grid is
of
the Melbourne grid. Yeah.
And I didn't realise Melbourne was surrounded by mountains. Mudgee, where I live,
Yeah.
Hoddle designed the architecture
Really?
grid.
Is
and
Mudgee on a grid?
Mudgee is called Nest in the Hills.
Ah,
So
yeah.
it's
Hills.
just
That's
like
beautiful.
it's like a micro version of
But better and more
but
wine.
better. There's more wine and cheese.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to do a podcast in Mudgee then. Don't worry about the new Ausmed offices, global headquarters in Melbourne. We're going to Mudgee. We've been busy. I feel like it's been a long time in between
I
drinks.
mostly haven't been. I've been on a sun lounge,
Yeah.
just mucking around.
Didn't you do the address? In June. Aged Care Week.
Oh, I did do a presentation. Yeah, I did. I was part of a panel. Yeah, that one. You know what? I bloody smashed that. And
What
do you
was
know
the
why
panel,
I-
Michelle? What
I don't know.
topic? You smashed it. Can't remember. Just remember it was really good.
Panel was on innovation in aged care, which is a super interesting topic because there are a lot of providers trying to innovate, but feeling held back by regulation and compliance, rah-de-rah-de-rah. But it was super interesting because I did a really quick survey of the audience, just talking about what they felt, what level of kind of innovation they felt that they were performing to, that their company was performing to, and what was holding them back. It was really interesting to get like live time feedback, a bit of a self-reflection or self-report, to then have the panel speak to that a bit better. So that was really rewarding, interesting, and landed quite well, I guess, with that panel. So that was good. That was at aging something in Sydney. Yeah.
Aged Care Week?
Yeah,
Oh.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just go to these things. I'm not paying attention to what's in the diary. If there's food, I'm there.
Well, we have been busy. Speaking of global headquarters, speaking of Mudgee, speaking of
Aged Care Week.
Aged Care Week.
Yeah. What have I been up to? Just look, it's been hectic. It's been, we talked about change management and
We
all those
did.
things a while ago. I've had the privilege of putting that all into play, and I was having a little chat with some key leaders today about how entitled my team are. But I said, high maintenance, high reward. My team are amazing at what they do, and they probably know it. So we've been
They are
walking
amazing.
them through some really
100%.
massive changes. They've been pivoting. They've been flexing. Speaking of Pilates instructors.
Yeah.
Very flexible, agile, strong.
That's true. Absolutely. So we've been navigating change at work. And
Have you started the MBA?
Oh, yes. A good question. I have. Yeah.
Oh, how's it going, Michelle?
Terrible. Yeah,
Oh.
really,
What's your
really
first subject?
bad. Have you not heard this story?
No, I have not.
Do we have time for a story, Nikki?
Of course.
Well, you'll love this. So I'm doing 2 subjects this trimester. One is leadership and management. Amazing. That's easy peasy. And the other one is financial planning and budgeting. And I'm pretty good. I have a budget at home. I'm very strict
Yeah, you do
about
your
it.
personal life budget, don't you?
That's a personal life budget. I do have a budget at home. What I can spend, I have about 17 debit
Bank
cards
accounts
because because all my little budgets are in each card. That's really important. But let me get to the point. So I'm doing this financial planning and budgeting course, and we had an exam, and I thought I'm really going to dedicate myself. So I ran all the practice tests. I did those. I ran them all through Claude. I set up every night. I sat down and did my practice questions and series. And the night before, I did a mock timed exam. Loving Claude, which was great. I'm running through like EBIT and equity over expense minus deductions and blah, 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 and getting all these calculations and finally nailing it, feeling really good. So I go into the exam and it says it's going to be 10 question short answer exam. And I practiced that and timed myself on that. So, of course, in real life, it's 10 short answer questions with 3 sub-questions per question.
With an A, B, and
so there's
C.
30 questions in the time frame. That's the first bad sign. Then I get to the 27th question. I thought I had to do calculations. They gave me the calculations, but then asked me to analyse the trends of it, where I'd been working on getting the calculations right. And, of course, it was an online exam because we're all online, and I was determined not to use AI because I thought that was cheating. Apparently it is. Anyway, so I'm determined not to cheat. But the problem was the spreadsheet with the financial years was quite long, and so you scroll through it to find the line item you need to then report on the trend. And I worked left to right because you read left to right. And because I was scrolled down, I wasn't at the top of the spreadsheet very often. I just kept going on. So by the 27th question, with 14 minutes to go, I realised that I've been reading a financial statement the wrong direction.
Oh, no.
And everything I thought that had been trending down from FY24 to FY25 was actually FY24 to FY25. Yeah. So then I had 12 minutes to amend.
Could you go
27 questions.
Control A down?
Replace search, find,
up.
decrease, increase. Search, find, up, down. Yeah, it was a little bit like that. It was a disaster.
Oh, no.
So that's 30% of my marks. We'll see how that goes by the end of trimester. I've got 2 assignments to see if I can recover my marks. So I'm going really well. Thanks for asking. Yeah, feeling good about myself. I will never read a financial statement the wrong direction now, though. Live and learn.
It's a great outcome.
And don't they say you learn more from failure than you do from success?
They do say that.
That's why I'm so
smart. We're all trying to increase our rates of failure and do them fail fast so that you learn quick. Or that's another expression.
I've aced failure. I'm fine now.
I'm going to change the topic and say, how are you, Karen? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good.
I'm well.
Glad to hear.
Grandchildren growing well.
Great.
Everyone's fine. Hopefully more. Who knows?
Oh, true midlife. Loves a baby.
But very excited that we did the announcement of this scholarship recipient for the Cynthia Wellings PhD scholarship. So a wonderful young woman by the name of Leanne Johns was a successful candidate. And she has a background she's a nurse, a background in education and working in ICU.
She's a nurse. Shocking.
What a great combo. Nurse, education, ICU.
It's about advanced nursing research and digital capability in healthcare. So, but she's a wonderful young woman, and it was fantastic to be able to acknowledge and recognise her, and also have Cynthia. So I was at the National Nursing Forum, the ACN, and we have partnered, as you know, with the ACN Foundation, with Monash Health, and with Australian Catholic University. And so it's a 3-year scholarship. And there's so much excitement around it. Within the College of Nursing, they have a nursing informatics group who are very excited and excitable. And so I think it's going to be really interesting to see where it gets to in the scheme of things. But,
Fantastic.
It was wonderful to have Cynthia, Ausmed's founder, to be able to be recognised and stand up there, and her vision, and be able to talk about why, improving care is so important. And, everything that we do is about how we can support, the growth from there and building the capabilities within that. So that was really, so that
Fantastic.
was and I'd like to thank a little shout out to Leanne, but also to Catherine Zeet, who is the Chief Executive of the College of Nursing, and she was fantastic as well. Yeah.
Shout out, Catherine.
Yeah.
I enjoyed meeting you at what was the one we went to? For the grads, I always forget the name. ACN Career Health and Careers Expo.
Yes,
yeah,
that was in
fun.
Melbourne too.
And Catherine did one of the, we had that cool photo booth, and we did those fun.
No, she's
that was great
value and very committed, and you could tell like there's a bit of a different vibe in the space, so which is fantastic.
Great, love a different vibe. Well, speaking capability, I feel like I've been in that space lately. Karen and I just shared where we're up to with the digitisation of the capability framework that the Victorian Health Service Education Leaders Network, VHELN, I think it gets shortened to VHELN or villain, but that sounds like villain. So and they're definitely not villains. And we have, just shared where we're up to with that digitisation project. And that's been fantastic. We're taking a capability framework that a group of wonderful educators across nursing and other disciplines have created, chaired by Jade Murphy. I'll give a shout out to Jade Murphy. Go Jade. She's absolutely legend, stuck with this, or created and then really driven this framework forward, and the network, which is an incredible network of 100 and something organisations from essentially, I think most hospitals and health services in Victoria have a representative from their not just learning but LMS team on this network. Anyway, we shared today where we have got to in terms of taking that framework and digitising it. And that's been wonderful. We're working with a team at Bayside Health Peninsula. I'm glad I got that right. So that's been really exciting, taking that on. And then I've been in the disability space, so really thinking about, what are the challenges that large NDIS providers are experiencing in terms of their workforce capability, managing not just their learning, their training, but a lot of challenges around not having systems that allow integration, so they can't do skill-based rostering, and thinking about how competency is assessed out in the field, leadership development programs. There's a lot of challenges that I think large NDIS providers are experiencing that are a sort of a byproduct of a large fragmented sector that by nature is designed to have lots of freedom, lots of choice, but lots of providers. So there's hundreds and thousands of providers, and so many of them are small. And the challenge that I guess comes from that is that there's a lot of solutions in place that are fantastic for the smaller providers, but there is a gap for the large providers. So I'm enjoying applying our thinking and learnings around governance, capability, competency, quality, safeguarding, and thinking about what does that mean for registered NDIS providers that have large, complex workforces and service environments at a time of regulatory change as well. Yeah, so I'm enjoying talking about it. I'm enjoying meeting with people and understanding their perspectives. And I'm back writing, which I feel, actually I should say talking, because I push my dictation button.
I love it.
And I talk to my computer and look like a strange person sitting in the corner talking to myself, because we've relaunched what people probably know as the Toolbox into the Build, or as one of our teammates said today, Le Build, with a bit of a French accent. But no, that's been great. So I've started to...
Cultural appropriation much?
Put pen to paper again. And so if you're a large NDIS provider and you're interested in beyond this podcast in what I have to say, then definitely check out the article.
And is that where the podcast will be found?
I think our podcast will be found there as well.
The Build.
And we need to get you onto
Le Build.
You are a builder. We were just talking about you know how you said you wanted to renovate right now? Don't worry about renovating and actually building. Just, put pen to paper. Innovation in aged care, change management. Yeah. There's a huge need for that leadership management. I think after a massive wave of regulation in aged care that we're starting to sort of get that evaluation from audits. It's it's the transformation. That's
you know what? While you talk about that, we were just talking about audits and how it's still really quiet on the ground. And I guess I'm just going to say a little shout out to our listeners. If you have had an audit and you have the report or it's published on the website, can you please ping me, michelle@ausmed.com.au,
or your mobile number
0490 304 684.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
I really want to see documented reports this year. I just haven't seen them. I'm hearing a little bit that they're happening, but I haven't seen them and I want to see them.
Yeah,
please help me.
We want to know. Yeah, I'm curious as to how the governing body, like the boards, are being audited, because when we went through and looked at all of the evidence items, there was 600 or 700 something possible evidence items. A massive chunk of them were what can be requested from the board. And so I want to know, how is the board going? We just heard this afternoon, Karen, new psychosocial stuff.
Through the work health and safety.
Work health and safety. Curious to see how that flows down into an audit.
Me too.
Because I think governance is the big topic. Yeah. It's absolutely the thread.
I'm interested as to whether there is the link between the workplace environment, culture, psychosocial safety, and workforce capability. So that from a board perspective, they actually can appreciate that link and how that investment is actually something that is a preventative investment.
You explain it well, Karen. You hate that expression, you learn to teach. Let me see if you've taught me, if you taught me well enough that I can teach it back, and I'll try and make it as concise as possible. Michelle, and you can adjudicate and correct and summarise.
Right, look out, I'm a tough assessor. No one gets 10 out of 10.
An organisation's workforce is their biggest asset. If you work in the health or care sector, your workforce is what is delivering your core service. But that workforce, if you don't invest in capability, is a risk. And so investing in capability is an investment in your core asset, being your workforce. How is that if you have a system, framework, governance, insert, etc. in place, then able to administer the appropriate controls to mitigate the relevant risk of the workforce in a consistent, safe, predictable manner that gives you confidence and assurance that asset is not a liability, and in fact it's your key asset that's helping you deliver on the care and services that you're after.
Fantastic.
How did I go? Was that long enough? Was that too long?
Yeah, a little bit short.
Yeah, that's all right. You did have it at the beginning, but that's a really nice link into what we promoted at the National Nursing Forum, which was around the framework of value-based healthcare. So looking at what they call the virtuous cycle in regard to the relationship between workforce capability, clinical competence, clinical quality, patient outcomes, patient experience, staff experience.
Going around a circle or a clock?
Yeah.
Oh,
around. Yeah. So they call it the virtuous circle because it goes that way.
Virtuous.
And it builds on. It's a positive cycle from there. So obviously the more supported your staff are in regard to their knowledge and their practice and the environment that they're in, so having that sort of competence to practice in the context will impact on the clinical quality of care, and we know that there's a relationship between quality of care and patient outcomes.
What?
Yes, I know. And we know that patients are happier, they have good outcomes. And we know that the relationship between staff experience, so staff being able to, one, have a sense, reduces, that sense of burden or burnout when you feel that your practice is not delivering outcomes for the people that you care for. So it builds satisfaction, and through satisfaction builds retention and engagement.
Of the actual staff.
Builds innovation, inspires, and comes back up again to workforce capability. So it was great to have some really good conversations. It really resonates. And I think the value-based healthcare has been around for quite a while, the concept.
It's not new. I think did it come out of, was it America? We had the capitalisation model of healthcare in the UK, the fee for service model here in Australia, and then value, is that?
Yes. So, and then the American, to err is human, like all the related. So it was a multi-streams. And if you think from sort of an economics or finance perspective, it wasn't necessarily just about the dollar and looking around sort of case mix and case mix-based funding. It was actually started to draw it out to say, actually, do you know there's a relationship that's actually safer care, better outcomes is
it's
cheaper.
Yeah.
Then if you cause harm, and that's when, the Australian Commission was then brought into play. They then, through the Commission, brought in penalties related to what were hospital-acquired complications.
Yeah, that's right.
And so people started to get fined.
Got returned patient come back re-hospitalisation after discharge, you started to get a fine.
So there was a range of hospital-acquired complications that then had a charge, a fee that was put against them, which again accumulated. But, and it's not, I suppose, coming back to, as you were saying, Zoe, where the workforce fits in, and that's where I think it gets lost in the space, which is then about managing the budget of health, which becomes about the moving parts and the ability to see your workforce as your greatest asset is often lost. The Quadruple Aim introduced workforce wellbeing. So that was COVID.
I think it was before COVID.
I think it was before COVID.
Yeah, I remember being in America at a nurse practitioner conference in maybe 2015. And the year before, I'd heard a session on the Triple Aim, and I came back to Australia and thought, wow, we'd put it in conferences, session on the Triple Aim, feeling fairly ahead of the time. The year later, I went back and it's no longer Triple Aim, it's Quadruple Aim. You're like, wow.
And that part of that was they'd left the workforce out.
Yeah. So what is
it was the patient individual outcomes, community outcomes, and
cost,
and now
that was triple.
Now you've got your Quadruple is your workforce and workforce wellbeing,
satisfaction,
and then the fifth one is now equity. So the quintuple is now looking about equity and access.
Yeah,
and as we were saying, it's not about everyone being the same. It's about things being fair.
All right. So can I ask Michelle? Quintuple Aim. You know how you in your innovation session you rated the crowd and you said how. All right. If you think of a place. I don't know, let's say aged care or hospital, any kind of care or sector that you know of, think of that place. Can you go through and tick how well are they doing the Quintuple Aim if we go one by one? So first, patient experience. How well do we, tick.
Oh, out of 1 to 10?
Yeah. Of the Quintuple Aim.
Do you want to think of a brand or you think about the industry?
Do you want to do industry?
Yeah, it's probably.
Maybe industry. Yeah. So pick an industry and let's get your critique on how's the industry doing the 5.
I'm picking aged care.
Aged care? All right. Karen, you go through each one.
So if we're looking around individual, so that means patient experience, patient outcomes.
Yeah. How well are we doing that?
Being able, and they're the outcomes that matter to the people. And I suppose it's about how are we in actually acknowledging or knowing what matters to people, and then about measuring it.
Do we do that well?
I'm giving it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10 average.
Only because it is so inconsistent in aged care right now. You have some really strong providers and some really weak providers, and then inside each provider there are also really great run racks and really poorly run racks. I'm going to say 5.
Yep.
And I think I don't think that's a bad thing, as you're saying. It has patient-centered care, etc.
I'd like it to be 8.
Yeah, but I think that it's a growth, and that's the continuous improvement, and that's what the and I think as long as people recognise where they're at, that's the measurement side of things.
So what's next?
So you've got your population outcomes. So that's looking at the broader, so the cohort or the collection from there. So how do we know we're making a difference for the community that
I don't understand how I can apply that to this use case,
because the outcome is.
But is it outside? Like if I'm thinking about residential aged care, or you want me to think about aged care in general?
You could consider population health as it's maybe a quality of life.
I don't know. Globally, I guess we could say maybe 7 if you're thinking about at home, unsupported, in-rack. But I don't know, that's how you can apply this scenario.
And I think, a big part of the standards is around respect and dignity.
Rights,
And
choice.
so rights and choices. And
I was probably not a good time because last night I was just streaming the ABC iView for Four Corners from Monday night on support in home.
Yeah.
And that's not great.
Not great.
Yeah.
But you know what? Can I just say, and I'm sorry to digress for a little second, but God, that was a good starting story. They used a journalist and showed this journalist, a well-known ABC journalist in his heyday, reporting around the country, around the world. And then he gave the interview for, he's got MND, he's 76. His wife is essentially trying to support him because he moved from the NDIS to aged care, lost I'm making it up now, but 3/4 of his funding.
Yeah.
And trying to get his funding increased for what his actual support needs are. And, well, I'm really digressing now, but he is funded for 3 showers a week because they need 2 people, so they have to pay 2 support workers. So rather than 6 mornings, he gets 3 mornings because of the type of support. It's
ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
How is that patient-centred or person-centred?
Well,
no.
And
how is it looking at their needs and
tension of sort of the individual and the population and the value? Because it is about, so that's a great example in regard to what matters to the individual, what at a population level, what can we do and what can, policy, legal, etc. from there. And then from a value perspective, what resources how do we best apply the resources we've got? How do you give a person a choice within that?
Which I'm going to say, I think that the NDIS funding system, now we're you're comparing apples with pears, right? It is fundamentally different.
A Nashi, let's say.
A Nashi. We got Nashis on the table. In the NDIS, that's totally different. It's the opposite situation where that ABC journalist would have full control essentially over their plan, and they could determine from their plan what they choose to allocate that funding to. So it could go the total other direction, that they could have unlimited showers that they want. That's probably not a good example, but there's
unlimited showers.
There's choice and control within that funding model, but then we know that there's actually some unintended consequences of a funding model we're essentially seeing. We had the Future Generations Bill pass the Senate. I think it's now in Parliament, probably passed by the time this episode goes live, to try and bring back some of those safeguards. And I don't think those safeguards, to be clear, I'm not saying that they're removing choice or control, but with what we've done with support at home is also, I think, taking a transformation of an assessment tool and trying to digitize it, trying to streamline it, trying to make it more efficient.
Well, the algorithm.
This algorithm that we're hearing about. I know someone that went back to work in a essentially community-based, back on the front line from very senior positions at a point in their life where they're like, you know what, I want to go back to just helping people. I just want to do that assessment.
Wow.
And they've left. They said, I'm not working with this. My clinical judgment, they're a nurse, as a registered nurse, is compromised by this assessment tool. They're out. Yeah. Now, they've started another business as a, remember that nurse navigator role? Did you hear about that in Queensland? I think Queensland initiated it.
We had care navigators.
It's a care navigator role for NDIS, for support at home, for our key funding instruments that are really challenging to navigate. This is more of an advisory consulting-based organisation, which is really exciting to see. But anyway.
But I think
we've got to be the host down the garden path there.
No, I like it. And but I think what's a robust conversation, which the Triple Aim, even in its fundamental form, enables you to really think beyond, this might be great for this one person, but what is the impact on the population? And do we have the resources, and how do we justify this? It's just to see it as a system. And that's where the value-based care is about, looking at it as a system, not as the individual parts. And every decision you make here impacts from there. And that's then bringing in the workforce, as you're saying, the impact on the workforce in this system where there are tensions and compromises and constraints today as well. And there's a lot of research that, Aiken's research from back in the day, which was looking at, the outcomes for patients when the load increased by one patient onto a nurse's ratio from there. We didn't even talk ratios back then. So it was like allocation, increased the risk of death or deterioration. And the nurse themselves, their risk of, their burnout and their well-being.
We all have stories. When I was a nurse on a medical surgical ward, it was medical, surgical, thoracic, oncology, hematology, palliative care, and respiratory, everything.
Let's say a mixed ward.
Mixed.
You'd have many outlier patients. 5 patients,
let's say, on an afternoon shift. You have a blood transfusion running. You have chemotherapy running. I was a grad. Blood transfusion, chemo, full nursing care. So hoist, doubly in coin. Could have a palliative care, a patient, that's
and who is this serving?
On the one ward as your allocation. And you're just constantly running around between one and the other trying to how is that delivering value-based care?
Yeah.
With that level of, and that's the norm. I found I went to intensive care because of that exact situation where I didn't feel I could actually provide, let's call it the adequate care. Maybe it's value-based care. And we unless it was that 1-to-1 ratio. You got all these unknowns thinking, what are the outcomes? Hoping that you're doing all right, trying your best, but it's that's just the norm now.
I think, the conversations that we've had with interested people has been around skill-based rostering. And, and that is comes back again to your people and your workforce and your understanding of their capabilities. So the knowledge and skills and practice that they can have. And then looking at that skill mix and being able to make decisions related on
skill-based allocation.
Yeah.
So you say, we got this amount of people on our unit this afternoon. We're going to match, and then we can match those, match them up to your patients. Because when you do your roster, you're doing that weeks in ahead. You don't know who's going to be on your ward or in your unit then, and then use that same principle of what's the skills, competence, capability
of our staff. So that's a culture change. That's a big, like you said, people put in their rosters, they want to work the days they've got, etc.
Preferred shift. This is my preferred shift. What do you used to call it? Preferred shifts?
You think we didn't get preferred? That makes it imply that we had a choice of preferred.
You could put in 2 requests or something.
Yeah, you can put in so many requests.
Two requests a roster or something.
No, we could have 2 hard no's in a month. Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, see? That's an opt-in, opt-out type setup, isn't it?
What do you mean preferred?
But it is a change of culture because it is about you need to know the demo. And this is about having data, having the information available to you. So if you have got a mixed ward and acknowledging what is the skill mix I need for this ward may not be the skill mix that you rostered a month ago.
Oh, that's right.
And so that's the flexibility. That's the cultural change, which is about looking at the workforce, the mobilisation of the workforce. And that's what they say. We don't necessarily have workforce shortages. We're just not able to use our workforce in the most efficient ways. I think there's a shortage of
visibility. I look at the people that I see working in our health and care sectors and I think there is capability. We have amazing people. Look at this call that we're on this afternoon. 40, 50 educators. There is capability.
Yeah.
But it's the visibility on where that capability lies. And so we can't make good decisions.
But it doesn't just stop there either, because I could be the expert on this issue, but if you give me 30 people with that issue, I'm still going to be beyond what I can cope with. I just need 10 people of that issue. So capability and capacity have to go hand in hand at the same time, and it still comes back to culture. Lots of C's here.
So I think about rostering as akin to putting a wedding seating plan together. Nightmare, right? Everyone would say that's the worst part of getting married is how do you put, 50, 100, 200? You've got all these dynamics, different families. This person doesn't talk to that board. Don't put them on this table. That's the nightmare of rostering. You've got all these people that hopefully a pool of people that you're trying to match up. In NDIS, it's even more fragmented because you've got a highly transient and mobile workforce that you're trying to match to the participants' needs that are often high complexity, and you might only have a small pool of staff that are actually suitably skilled to look after, let's say, a ventilator or enteral feeding, whatever it might be. So you're trying to match those up with the participants' needs, and you're thinking,
okay, you circled back to NDIS, Zoe.
It's on the brain.
But I also think like looking at as the health economy, like everything's related from there. So from aged care, NDIS, acute hospital health services, there is a central theme in there because it is about people. It's about people caring for people and how to create the value within that, which is get the outcomes. If we go to an outcome-based approach, how do we get the best outcome that we can for those people?
Love it. One of our fans has just walked into the building.
Shout out. Hi, Gary.
We haven't done
a guest appearance. Come in and say hello, Gary.
Yeah. It's great to be a part of the capability corner. Fantastic.
There we go. Come to the microphone.
Goldie's excited as well.
You can say that again, Gary, that being a favourite listener.
The 3 hour in action.
Yeah, we're back. So, Michelle, how's aged care doing? There's 5 elements of the Quintuple Aim. I'm just going to go through.
Okay, just quick fire.
Patient experience.
5.
Population health.
7.
Reducing cost. 10 out of 10.
1. Reducing appropriate cost. 2.
2. Or aged care. 4th, care team wellbeing.
Care team geez.
Staff wellbeing.
That median's so difficult. I'm going to say 4.6
for conditions
across the
general.
country.
And last one, health equity.
Oh, well, I mean, I would be remiss of me to not count the minority groups and First Nations people. So if I get anything more than 3, maybe, we're doing a rubbish job.
Through this
rubbish job.
Yeah.
Really?
It's very interesting to do. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Michelle. All right, brilliant. So we actually we've launched an article that goes into more detail around value-based healthcare and what that means for Aussie hospitals. So if you've enjoyed that article.
A series. Is there a series,
Zoe? Series of them. Check out the build, click on hospital and health service, and you'll find more there. All right, to wrap us up, what's on your agenda? Next few weeks before we do our next episode, what are you looking forward to? What are you planning? Where are you going? Quick snippet.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's not till November, but frankly, Ageing Australia conference.
Yep. Abstracts?
No, not at all.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm too disruptive for them. They just they want suits and ties.
You could
I've
rock
got
a suit.
loafers and hoodies.
Yeah, I've seen your power shoes.
But I'm excited to see what's happening, how industry's feeling at the end of the year.
Yep.
I'd like to see some reports and audits by then.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. And I've just received an invitation to speak at the customer show. So we'll be talking about that in the next few months.
And this is your second year. You got a really good prize last year, really good speakers.
Yeah, I talked about OnlyFans or something, didn't I? Oh, that was no. What did I get last
You
year?
got a really good present
Did
for
I?
speaking, a bottle of champagne or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
That wasn't that vendor? Was that?
Yeah, you got a good present,
Or
remember?
was that my champagne bottle? Oh man, I haven't remembered.
Too many
What did I get?
declarable gifts. But we're not in public health, so.
All right, Karen, what's upcoming? What are you
What's
looking forward
upcoming
to? What's
next
on your radar?
week will
Next
be
week?
at the Day Hospitals Conference in Adelaide.
Yep.
So very much looking forward to catching up with our friends and colleagues there. So that will be great. So that's the front of mind for that. So going with young Taylor, and we'll have some great conversations there.
Fantastic.
We don't see age though, do we, Karen? Young.
We don't.
Taylor.
Everyone's young to me. You're all young.
What's the prize? Are you the prize again,
Oh,
Karen? You were the prize.
yes,
Go on, tell it. You were the prize.
Yes, my family were very excited that I was the prize.
Did your hubby try and...
So my husband actually did put in, he did the QR code because I shared with him. So they had the wonderful,
Adorable.
so Laura had this fantastic idea, which was about as a prize rather than a drink bottle, etc.,
yeah.
that they could do their little QR code to have a consultation about a strategic or a capability building challenge that I could work with them through.
Yep.
And I thought that was very on point for Laura. I think that was
Laura's
great.
full of good ideas.
Yeah, no, because that's, people like that. And I like doing that. So it was a win-win from there.
Nice.
But yes, I did share it with my family and said, I am the prize. And so my husband did fill it in so he could have an hour of my time.
Yeah. I mean, the odds of winning that prize are as good as the odds of getting an aged care assessment in the first 5 months after application. So,
Yes. So, no, I think it went delete.
Oh, that was a dummy application.
What about you, Zoe? What's happening for you?
And hopefully moving into our home that is almost finished renovating. I've been saying it's 6 weeks off, though, for about 4 weeks. So hopefully
since
by
you
the
moved
time
out, 18 months ago.
No. Anyway, no, I am very much looking forward to that and some time off. I can't wait to unpack cupboards. Anyway, work-wise, I'm excited to start putting together our sessions, Karen, for the ACHSM conference up on... Not on the Gold Coast, further north than that, Cairns, even warmer.
In October.
Australasian College
of Health Service Management.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Another A acronym. I'm looking forward to that. So we're thinking about linking performance with capability. And I love that, I think I put something on LinkedIn recently that, one of my favourite models, as Shell rolls her eyes back, is the Miller's model of clinical competence. And I like...
I've never heard you talking about this before, Zoe. Tell me more, please.
And I think performance is a really exciting bit of that model. And actually, we have talked for many, 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 many years about translating evidence into practice. And the last time I heard how long that takes, it was 18 years or something like that. And I think focusing on the performance bit accelerates that. So how we're supporting, supervising,
to reinforce
working with our workforce to actually translate whatever learning, training, strategies, and actually getting that into practice. I think perform is the key bit.
What did you say the time is? 18 years?
Yeah.
What, for anyone?
18 years. This, you can correct me, Karen.
She will.
It takes an average of 18 years to get a new piece of evidence into practice.
In healthcare.
That's in healthcare.
Terrible. Yeah. Do you know the other statistic I like is for every 7 years of business existence, it takes 1 year for culture change. So every 7 years, it takes 1 year to make culture change if you've existed for 7 years. So if you've existed for 39 years divided by 7, remove the 2, take the 6 years to make culture change at Ausmed. Lucky the culture's good and we don't have to change it.
That's right.
But that would be workforce, like hospitals, health as well. Yeah. Yeah, and they've existed for centuries.
All right. Closing thoughts. Thank you. Yeah. It's great to have you back, Michelle. We missed you. We had a great conversation with Liz.
It's just the people that didn't invite me, but anyway.
We couldn't get in your calendar.
Flexible as a 24-year-old Pilates instructor.
Karen, thanks for your thoughts, comments,
pleasure,
wisdom as always. Gary, great to have you drop in.
Yeah, shout out Gary.
Shout out Gary.
And everyone who's walked past us today, which is great.
You've seen some of the team.
Thanks,
make sure you check out The Build, where we've published some really interesting posts of late around value-based healthcare, and some of the large provider challenges in the NDIS that they're experiencing. As always, if you've got any questions, call Michelle
0490 304 684.
Or you can email podcast@ausmed.com.au. We'll look forward to having you next time. And if you are in aged care and have had an audit, remember, we really want to hear from you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.